In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use Google Classroom to assign the digital Christmas cards. So you want to go into Google Slides and you want to click blank, start a new presentation and click blank. And then you want to go to File, Page Setup, Custom, and we're going to change the first number to 6 and the second number to 4 because the digital cards are 4 by 6. There's 6 by 4 inches long, and click apply. If there are any text boxes showing on your blank slide, just click them and delete them. Okay, to start, we're going to set the digital cards that you made with the student pictures as the background. And the reason that we set them as the background image in Google Slides is so that when students go to edit their cards, then they can't move it or change it in any way because it's set as the background. So you go up here to background and you want to click choose image. And then you want to hit browse. And you want to go to the location on your computer where you saved all the student cards with their pictures. And we want to click one of the cards and say open, or click open, and then done. And then as you can see, that student's card is now set as the background image. And when the students come in to edit their cards, see, they're not going to be able to change it or move it or anything. Okay, so then the next step would be if you want to add pre-formatted text boxes for the students to fill in. Maybe you have younger students and they're not real familiar with inserting their own text boxes. So you may want to add some pre-formatted ones to help them a little bit. So if you want to do that, you would click Insert Text Box, and then you would put the square wherever you would like the text box to appear. And then you can use the tools up along the toolbar to format the text however you would like. You can choose the font size, maybe you want to change the alignment. I like to center align. You can change the font color, however you would like it to appear. So down here is where I usually would like the student's name. So if I'm pre-formatting the text boxes, I would just say insert your name here. And I do want it a little bit bigger, so I'm going to increase the font size a little bit. There you go. So I put those there, and then when the student gets the card as an assignment, then they would just have to simply click here and change the text to their name. It's just, I have younger students, and that's just easier. So on this one, you may want to do multiple text boxes. So you can do another one. You just do insert text box and you can make another one. Now again, I have younger students, so sometimes I will, instead of them having to write Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, which may be a little bit hard, I just put it in for them. So whatever holiday message you would like to use. I left that blank. I didn't pre-fill those so that you could specify what you like to say. If it's Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, this way you can customize it for your needs. So in this example, I'm just going to use Merry Christmas. And like I said, I'm pre-formatting this text box for my younger students, but you do not have to. If you have older students and they can do it themselves, that's fine. Okay. If you have older students, maybe you could just say, instead of putting Merry Christmas, you could say, insert your message here. And then let it up to them what they would like to say, what holiday message they would like to say. And I'm just going to do one more. You can even put a text box up here. Maybe you want, they could specify who they're sending the card to. So you could say, you know, insert name or names here, and they could put in mom and dad, or their aunt and uncle, or their caregiver's name. Whoever they're sending the card to, they can address it to them. So let's see here. You pick your font. Let's say, insert name or names here. And just, oops, increase the font size just a little bit. Maybe move it up just a little bit. Okay, so again, you can choose how many boxes you want to pre-format for your students. If you have older students and you know they are very familiar with inserting their own text boxes, you can just leave all this blank. So then it would be ready to assign to your students. So once they get it, then they would just click on the text boxes and fill in the names. So I just wanted to show you a few more things that students could do while they're editing their cards. And this all depends on how familiar your students are with the tools in Google Slides. So they could insert shapes. There are all kinds of shapes from which to choose. They could do smiley faces. They could do hearts, are very popular with my students for cards. They could do stars. Whatever they choose. There's a cloud, a sun, if they wanted to add to the picture. Whatever they'd like to use. Let's see. I'll just do, for this example, I'll just do heart. You know, they can insert their shapes wherever they like. Format them with colors. Yeah, to make it a little more personalized. Another option that we like to do is they like to use callouts. So the callouts are these, so that it would look like they're saying something to their parent or the receiver of the card. So they can put those in and they can move it to look like it's coming out of their mouth. There's a little yellow dot that you can move, and they put it by their mouth, and maybe then that's where they want to put a text box in there, and that's where they want to say their holiday message. Instead of down here, they can say it up here with their own text. Just say, you know, Merry Christmas. And then size it to fit inside the call out. But they can use any type of message they want and move it in there. It's just cute. It looks like they're saying it. So it's just a cute option. So like I said, they can use whatever they're familiar with. Okay, so once you have it pre-formatted the way you like, it's time to assign it to your students. So you want to title it, and I always just title them the student's name. So then, you know, they're easier to keep track of. And then you want to change the share permissions so that they can access it. And you change it to whatever permissions you use for your class. I do anyone with the link can view. Done. Okay, and then an easy way to make a Google slide for each of your students is, once this one is pre-formatted and complete and named, you want to, and the permissions changed, you want to say File, make a copy, entire presentation, and then they're going to make a copy of this. So you want to rename this file to the next student. So let's just say, okay. You can say share it with the same people, meaning it will have those same share permissions, and click OK. And then Google will make a copy of that. So now, as you can see, this is Sarah Jones. So we need to make this picture her picture. And the way you do that is you just go to Background, choose Image, Browse, and you find her picture, open, done. So then now this is Sarah's card for her to edit. So as you can see, doing it that way, you don't have to keep inserting the text boxes over and over and over. They're already here and in the same and in the correct location. So then Sarah's is ready to go. And then you just keep doing that for each child. So you would just say File, make a copy, entire presentation, and then rename that for the next student, change the background to theirs. So then each student's card, it will now be on your Google Drive and ready to assign. So then when you are ready to assign the cards to your students, you go into your Google Classroom, under Classwork, create assignment. You can give it a title, Christmas card, or you could say Christmas card for parents. You want to write the instructions for them. So if you did any pre-formatted text boxes, this is where you want to tell them what to put in them, or you could just say whatever tools you wish them to use to edit their card. You'll write that here, and then you want to click Add from your Google Drive, and you will see each student's card. So you just want to pick their card and then click Insert. Okay. And then I know it's just going to one student, but I still always do make a copy for each student, because just in case, I want to keep a blank copy for me, just in case the student, makes a mistake or messes something up on the card. I still have an original copy of it. So I do make a copy for each student so that they can edit their own copy, and then I'll have a backup copy just in case. And then if you want to do a due date, you can put that in there, and then you just assign it. Now instead of assigning to all students, you would go in under your drop down and just assign it to that individual student instead of all your students. I can't, for privacy reasons, I'm not going to do that right now. I don't want to show my students' names, but you would choose just one student and then assign. So that is how you would assign the cards to each student, and then they can edit them. And I usually have them return them to me. I like to look at them first, just to, look them over, see what edits they did prior to them giving them to their parents. And then next I'll show you how the parents can save the cards once they receive them. Okay, so once the students, I know this one isn't completed, but this is just an example. Once the students have completed their cards, there are several options for you of how to send them to the parents. So you can just, send them via Google Classroom, and if you do that via Google Slides, you can just tell the parents that in order for them to save it, they click File, Download, JPEG image, and then it can be saved to their computer, or maybe they want it as a PDF, that's up to them. But that's how then they would save a copy for themselves so that they have one. Now, another option is you can have your students edit the card in Google Slides, and then once they send it back to you as, for you to check, you can then save it, as a JPEG or PDF document, whatever you prefer. And then either however you communicate with your parents, you can email it to them, you can text it to them, whatever option you want to use, you can send it directly to the parents that way.